Try to give people time to get in the building. Love and light. It's your brother, Omni Amanashi, also known as Omni Omnis, the nature God. We here to build. Tonight's topic is going to be about the Indigo children. Now, shout out to Mr. Jeff Abney. Mr. Jeff Abney in the building. This was a referral from Mr. Jeff, so he wanted to get more info about who are the Indigo children. All right, and we know that the Indigo children is a concept that came out, I think, in the 70s. All right, and it was written by a European white woman, and it was about a group of children who were inherent to certain special and supernatural qualities and abilities. All right, so according to Wikipedia.com, Wikipedia.org, all right, so you get to the right spot. The Indigo children, according to a pseudo meaning false, all right, so they're trying to say that there's a false theory. It says the Indigo children, according to a pseudoscientific New Age concept, are children who are believed to possess special, unusual, and sometimes supernatural traits and abilities. All right. Some parents choose to label their children who have been diagnosed with learning disabilities as Indigo child, or to alternatively diagnose them. All right. And that's by Wikipedia.org. All right. So what they're saying is that the Indigo children are somewhat different. All right. They have a different quality, and they may function differently based on, who they are. All right. So the Indigo people are Indigo. All right. I think it's dealing with the word India, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, indigo dye, which is an Indian dye. All right. And it's native to the land of India. All right. And it's a dark pigmented dye. It's a dark pigmented dye. So we know when they refer to the word indigo, it's in reference to a dark pigmented dye. It's kind of like a dark bluish color. And like I said, it's native to the land of India family. All right. So who are the Indigo children? We're trying to see what, we're going to see about that. So my whole thing is, I chopped it up with my brother the other day, and I was just telling him I'm not for sure if many modern researchers or scholars are familiar with biochemistry. All right. When you understand biochemistry, meaning biological chemistry, all right, biochemistry is the branch of science that deals with the chemical and physiochemical structure of tissues and organs which compose living organisms. All right. So when we know that we are melanated people and that we have a phenotypical appearance or expression as dark pigmented, all right, that's for a reason, because we have different cellular makeup or different cellular structure. All right. So like I said, the biochemistry is dealing with the chemicals that makes up the body. All right. Now we know that when we get into, because we still dealing with who are the Indigo children, we understand that indigo is a word in reference to India and a dye. So it's a plant that grows in India that's reference to dark pigment. All right. And melanin is also a dark pigment or organic dark pigment. Okay. Now this plant is a tropical plant as well. So that's another factor to pay attention to. This indigo is produced from a tropical plant family. All right. Now we know that melanin is a supernatural conductor of light, of electromagnetic radiation. All right. And it's used for the natural process of photosynthesis. All right. And it also occurs in chlorophyll in plants. All right. Which is also another natural form of melanin. Okay. Now, in simple and basic microbiology, okay, we understand that we have 4 basic types of cells, all right? You have your red blood cells, you have your white blood cells, you have your blood platelets, which are also white blood cells, and then you have your blood plasma, which are red blood cells. So it still breaks down into 2 different types of cells. You have your white blood cells, which are non-photovoltaic, or they don't have the photosynthetic functionality, and then you have your photosynthetic cells, which are the red blood cells. Okay, so my point is the people who are dark pigmented, that's due to that specialized group of cells that's making up the melanin called melanocytes. All right, melas in Greek means dark. Okay, these are dark cells that have the functionality of absorbing light radiation. So it's a biochemistry that's common amongst a tropical people. All right, so we understand that. So we're gonna move on to the next. You got white blood cells that make up white tissue, and then you have red blood cells that makes up dark pigmented tissue. Okay, now depending on your count of blood, whether it's white or red, will determine your skin pigmentation. Okay, the red blood cells are solar cells that function kind of like solar panels. All right, it's meant for absorbing light and absorbing radiation and storing that radiation. All right, to use it for for different things, different purposes. Okay, and the white blood cells do not have the same chemistry. All right, these are acidic, fungal, bacterial based cells. Okay, that's why they have shit like nutritional yeast. All right, that's nothing nutritional about bacteria family. All right, it's a foreign invader microbe, and that's how people get their immune systems invaded, and they get infected and contaminated. All right, so we got to understand that the RBCs also play a role in protecting an immune system. These are immunoglobulins. All right, and these are red blood cells family, the solar cells. Okay, now the dark pigmented cells is what's making up the dark pigmented tissues. Okay, so like I said, in science we call it genotype, phenotype, transcription, which is the sum of gene expression, meaning that physical appearance is the result of genes family. Okay, genes are biological ingredients to producing a specific result. All right, so everyone has a certain appearance, okay, due to their genes. It's like when people have kids, have babies. The babies don't look random. They look based on the 2 biological donors, the mama and the daddy. All right, it's very simple. Genes are in what, hereditary units of biological matter, okay, which determine the characteristics of organisms family. Okay, now like I said, let me keep going. Now, according to basic biology, remember we just talked about the genotype, phenotype, transcription. You have people of African descent. African descent can be broken down into various groups, because we understand that people are not land and land is not people, but your DNA is based on your genetic information. Who you are is based on your genetic information. We have people that are African descent. We have African American, we have Afro-Indian, we have Afro-Latino, and we have Afro-Asians. All right, all of these people share that melanated quality, that same cell structure and that same cell function. Okay, that's how you got guys, like I said, like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, people who are very athletic. Okay, you got football players, like I said, Bear Sanders. You know, he's a Hall of Fame. Randy Moss catching the ball with one hand over 4-5 people. This is the genetic quality that comes from storing energy from the sun family. Okay, these are photovoltaic cells. Okay, cells that are synthesized from light. Okay, and light is melanin is solidified biological mass of the sun and they call it stardust, family. If you look it up, you'll see that stardust is what makes up the compounds of the periodic table, okay? The particles that makes up the planet, the people, the animals, can be traced back to of cosmic origins or to a heavenly origins, okay? And these star seeds or star people are these people of African descent who have this melanin quality that can be traced back to the stars, family, all right? So they would call black children star children or star seeds, okay? As we are the children that are directly from that natural fabric of the universe, okay? And these, like I said, these are tropical people. So indigo, etymology, mid-16th century, from Portuguese, indigo, via Latin, from Greek, indicon, okay, which means Indian dye, all right? The color, and that's from Oxford Dictionary for your reference. The color of matter in solution, Middle English, dye, from Old English, day or dog, color, hue, tinge, okay, from Proto-Germanic, source, also Old English. That's from Oxford.com, all right, to understand dye. So it's an Indian dye family, all right? It says hue. A dye is a hue family, okay? So indigo, like I said, is a tropical plant of the pea family, which was formerly widely cultivated as a source of dark blue dye in the world, okay? Like I said, the dark blue dye was attained from the indigo plant, naturally, all right? So we understand that as a hue. We understand that it's tropical, okay? We understand certain things about this indigo, all right? So let's get a little bit more into it. And that was from OxfordDictionary.com, the last definition. Indigo says the principal coloring matter, C16H10N2O2, of natural indigo, usually synthesized as a blue powder with a coppery luster, all right? So that's just for another reference. Now, the origins of the term indigo children originated from parapsychologists and self-described synthesis of psyche, Nancy Ann Tapp, all right, Nancy Ann Tapp, who developed the concept in the 1970s. And in 1982, Tapp published a compound which she expanded and republished in the paperback of 1986. All right, so she put something out in 1986, and the name of it was The Understanding Your Life Through Color. All right, Understanding Your Life Through Color by Nancy Ann Tapp. All right, so check that out, family. That's the original joint that was put out by an individual who published this concept of thought in the 70s, all right? Now, indigo children, according to most, if y'all go on YouTube and you look up other information about indigo children, you will see no people of African descent, family, all right? Now, I'm going to say that again. Now, go look this up on Google, all right, YouTube, any source of information that you want to go to, and you will see no people of African descent, okay? So I'm trying to give this to you guys, you know what I'm saying, raw and uncut, all right? I'm not being paid by colonial forces or powers to get up here and lie to you guys, all right? I'm an independent researcher, and my job is to figure out what the truth is, all right? So that's what I love to do. I love to investigate and find out what makes sense and what don't, all right? So we're going to do that together, okay? So the indigo children, like I said, indigo, which refers to a dye from India, okay, which is dark pigmented, or it has a hue, all right, because that's what a dye is. We understand that it has a quality that's associated with melanin family. All right, there's only white blood cells and red blood cells. If you don't have that darkness or that hue, all right, you don't have those special cells that gives you that cosmic photosynthetic quality. And that's what we need to function in the world, family. All right, it's thermodynamic law. Okay, and that shows you the way heat systems interact and function as a system. All right, the correlation between heat and matter is thermodynamic. Okay, now if you want to believe the indigo children is white, family, that's on you. All right, we know that the white cells make white tissues, and that those cells are the precursors of disease. Those are the white cells are antigenic family, okay, pathogenic cells, okay, the precursors of disease. So these are not cosmic cells that have that cosmic functionality. They don't work like solar panels. So there's a big difference. So we know that if you're going to be an indigo, that you have to have hue, you have to have that tropical quality. All right. Now let's keep going. Remember, Nancy Ann Tate, family. All right. Now, the indigo children, according to the pseudoscientific New Age concept, are children who are believed to possess special, unusual, sometimes supernatural traits and abilities. All right. I read that already. All right. But don't forget about Nancy Ann Tate. All right. So, indigo children are described as highly accomplished, all right, deeply spiritual, and gifted with psychic abilities. All right. As most paranormal experiences, this is more about faith than science. All right. And that's something that was by www.kltv.com. All right. Just speaking about the indigo children and what was said about the indigo children. So they're said to be deeply spiritual, gifted, psychic abilities, certain things like that. All right. Sometimes your children might suffer with ADHD. All right. Dyslexia, certain learning abilities, due to the fact that our brains, our cells function differently because we're not made from the same cells. Therefore, biologically and genetically, we're different, family. All right. Come to find out, phenotype, which deals with the physical appearance of an organism. Okay. The phenotype is the outward expression of genes. All right. And phenotype is also associated with behavior. All right. Phenotype is the composite of a living organism's observable characteristics, such as morphology, development, all right, biochemical and physiological makeup, all right, behavior, as well as products of behavior. So you got to understand that the sounds that an organism makes, the patterns, you know, certain things that the organism may do is always based upon the genes, family. All right. Hummingbirds hum. All right. They make certain sounds. That's based upon its genes. So we don't want to get anti-scientific. We understand that organisms function. All right. And they have a certain appearance based on their genes. All right. So in folklore, in fiction, a kind of chingling or fondling a child seemingly having fallen from the stars and not of ordinary human origin, all right, or human descent. Okay, that's what a indigo child is supposed to be. Okay, a child seemingly having fallen from the stars and not of ordinary human descent. All right. And that's our babies, family. All right, the precious star seeds. That's why we got to teach them and bring them up the right way, because they have a special quality, family. All right, we are cells to the planet. Our job is to function in a way that's going to help the planet to thrive. Okay, so we need our children to be educated and not just having these babies not knowing who they are and what they are, but to build them up. All right, from the inside out, family, so that we have mighty minds and mighty warriors, mighty people. All right. So let me see. Now, indigo, family, here's a fact. Indigo was grown, right, in early South Carolina to produce dye, right? Back in the 1700s. That's a tropical plant, right? It was being grown and cultivated in the Carolinas in the 1800s. But it's no longer commercially grown. All right? So I thought that was interesting. Like, okay, tropical plant growing in the Carolinas, family. The indigo. All right? So we know when they talk about supernatural, first thing, if you're going to be supernatural, you first have to be natural, family. All right? That's the key to being supernatural. All right? To be supernatural, you first have to be natural. All right? Super means above, beyond, or greater than. All right? Natural means to originate. Okay? To originate from above, beyond, or greater than the earth. Okay? Things that are celestial, things that are cosmic, would be considered not to be just natural, but supernatural. All right? The sun is supernatural, is above, beyond, and greater than the earth, family. All right? An asteroid, a comet, okay? These are cosmic things, supernatural things. The sun gives off electromagnetic energy, which are forces that accelerates matter, all right, and gravitates matter. It controls matter, all right, through these forces, family. The universe is a combination between the masculine and the feminine, all right, electricity and magnetism. These two forces is what creates all things, family, all right? So don't forget that, because we got to re-educate the minds of the people, family, all right? Because we see that the colonists have stolen the high sciences, all right? There's planes, there's jets, okay? There's the Large Hadron Collider, particle accelerator, all right? These people are really dominating in the scientific field, okay? And that's because of the knowledge, family, the high sciences that was stolen from the ancient people, all right? So we must restore that. And that's what I feel like my job is to do, family, to help the people restore this foresight, family, this ancient way of seeing things, all right? Now, like I said, when you go on to YouTube, you're not going to see no videos of people of African descent, family, being depicted as indigo. You're not going to see that. But I'm telling you, it's impossible to be indigo without being of hue, without being dark pigmented, without having melanin, family, all right? There's no videos of seeing of information depicting people of African descent as indigo. And these are supposed to be a special people, all right? So we need to let our babies know that they are the star seeds. They are the people that originate the particles, the elements that make up their biochemistry, all right? That gives them that phenotypical appearance of a god, to be melanated, to absorb the light that is quantum, okay? So it is a supernatural quality, and that's why we dominate in sports and different arts and, you know, different things like that, family. You know, there is a supernatural quality to black people, okay? Now, let me see. Okay, so supernatural, like I said, is just that quantum energy, family, all right? Now, there's a such thing in science called quantum entanglement, and that's just dealing with a phenomenon in which particles are entangled at very, very large distances, all right? And how these particles correspond to each other. So we can be on Earth, and there are particles in space, right, that's connected to us, all right? We're connected to forces in space, family. And when you have that photosynthetic quality, that's that magnetic receptor that allows you to communicate with these forces, all right, with that divine energy, okay? So to have that supernatural quality, you must be able to communicate through light communication through photosynthesis, all right? And that's what the melanin allows us to do. So here's some of the things that they say about being the indigo child, all right? So this right here is a reading from, let me see, where's it from? It's right here's a reading from Gaia.com, family, Gaia.com, all right? So 13 common traits of indigo children, all right? If you wonder if you might be of this distinct soul lineage, here are a few personality traits, all right? Now, you may feel spiritually awakened, all right? Is that something that some of you guys are feeling or going through? Do you feel that you woke, you spiritually awakened, you enlightened? You know what I'm saying? How y'all acting right now? How y'all feeling, man? There's a lot going on right now in the world. If you feel spiritually awakened, all right, you were born to be a light worker, right? We are messengers of light because melanin is solidified light, and we communicate with the source, with the light source, all right? Now, if you were born to be a light worker and have felt from a young age that you were tapped into something spiritually greater than most people are, do you feel that you are on the earth for a higher purpose? Do you feel that you have something to contribute to the universal coexistence? All right. Now one of the second things is if you feel that you are destined to be here, all right, you are confident and even arrogant at times. Sound like me. You are confident and even arrogant at times, and emboldened by something larger than you can name. You know that you were put on this planet for a reason, and that reason is to enact positive change, to enact, okay, my bad, to enact positive change, family. That's exactly how I feel too. You know that those who are negative to this planet are growing and ascending and need help in their transformation. I'm sorry, family. Those who are native to this planet are growing and ascending and need help in their transformation. That's right. I agree with that. You got to be native to the planet. That's most definitely a fact. All right. Do you feel that you are spiritually awakened? Do you feel that you are destined to be here at this time? All right. You have high expectations of yourself and others. Okay. That's a good trait. You are confident. What it says? It says this can make for challenging relationships and interactions. You see only the best and expect others to live up to it. Towards yourself, you can be underlying self-critical. Don't let this get the best of you. Instead, use it to your advantage and push yourself and others, but also know that others may not be as motivated. All right. So you may have a high drive. You may have set a high standard for yourself. All right. You have a strong intuition. Indigos see the world differently, coupled with innate self-assurance. Okay. You often think your way is right and often offended if others cannot see, much less take action from your point of view. If indigos ruled the world, you are confident no problems would exist. Word. Straight like that. All right. If we are more intelligent, family, because we understand that the universe is not created from no dumb shit. It's created from an intelligence, family, a consciousness, an awareness. All right. Everything functions the way that it does in the universe for a reason. There's a harmonic balance. Okay. Now, it's all about intelligence. Okay. We exist because of that universal intelligence, family, the oxygen, okay, the radiation that we get every day, okay, the speed and the momentum of the planet. All right. There's certain things that have to go right, family, for us to have a normal day. Okay. Now, another thing that's common amongst indigos is you question authority. All right? You are not to negotiate so certain in your views and ways. You are often rebellious and a skeptic of those in power. All right? This can occasionally get you in trouble, so you know how to get into the good and noble types of trouble. All right? So you know we live in a time, family, where it's a real hush-hush society. They got secret societies, brotherhoods. All right? And people are not being truthful, and people are not being honest, family. Okay? So indigo is a person of great integrity. All right? And they see things a little bit differently than the modern day society. Okay? So I don't know if that's how you feel. If that resonates with you, then maybe you might be an indigo. All right? Maybe your children might be. All right? Now, before I keep going, just to share a personal experience. All right? I got 4 kids, family. All right? So I've been through the process before. I seen the whole thing come about. One of the things that I noticed is that the doctor told me when my little one was coming about, but she was still in the in the womb, and they said that the normal typical heartbeats per minute is between 120 and 160. All right. Now for all of my babies, because I have 4, every time I went to the hospital, the heartbeat was always between 148 and 160, family. And we know that the doctor just told us that the normal heart rate is between 120 and 160. When you get to 160, that's kind of on the high end, family. So I couldn't help but notice that a lot of the times, all of my children had very high heartbeats per minute. All right? So that's also associated with ADHD. You know, all right? With people of African descent, we generate more energy because of the type of cells that we have, family. All right? We store more energy than a person who is white blood cell dominant. If you are red blood cell dominant, all right, you have a different structure genetically, biochemically, and you have a different function. So we can't be generalizing, okay, who we are as humans, because there's different genetic groups of humans, all right? So just wanted to share that with you guys. That's my personal experience. All of my babies had one of the top heartbeats per minute that you can have, okay? All right. Now it says, let me see. You are a change maker. You are creative. Okay? You question authority. You want to overturn the man. The man, right? The white man. Or just modern society. You know what I'm saying? However you want to see it. Same thing, same thing. You are a change maker. You are a lost soul. You are headstrong. All right? You are passionate and focused. You have psychic abilities. All right? Intuition. Deja vu dreams. Okay? Things like that, of that nature. That lets us know that we are quantum entangled. And that we are interacting with that supernatural energy, family, okay? With that quantum energy, quantum forces, family, all right? It says you are frustrated. You know, I get frustrated sometimes with, with the modern society, how everybody's just with ignorance. And, I understand that the Neanderthal is not of African descent, and the Neanderthal has a smaller brain, smaller cerebral capacity. I understand that, okay? But when I see people looking like me, family, it's just hard to stomach that, to understand that, okay? But I understand that we're domesticated and we're living in a culture, all right, that does not promote intelligence or integrity or certain qualities or values, all right? So those are things that we most definitely want to restore as people of African descent, all right? So, challenges of the indigo. Not everyone born in this generation carries the new blueprint. The early few were known as scouts, testing out the climate to see if more souls could be ushered in, okay? nor should we assume being an indigo is something to be idolized. That's what somebody said. Beyond the responsibility such a distinction will carry, we have also witnessed the drive of the indigos to be paralyzing at times. All right, so no one really wants to look at it like one genetic group having genetic advantages over another group. You know, it's not a good thought for some people. You know, but if that is scientifically the truth, if you got the world's strongest man that's Caucasian or he's Asian and he got a lot of muscles and he seemed to be very fit, that same man cannot go out into the wild, into nature, all right, and stay in the sunlight in the tropical region. Okay, with all those muscles, he still would develop melanoma skin cancers, all right? According to MayoClinic.com, there's about 3 million skin cancer cases per year. Not cases, but deaths. My bad. Sorry about that. 3 million deaths in the U.S., according to MayoClinic.com, from skin cancer, family. All right? So we're not trying to make nobody feel no type of way. All right? We just want to understand the science of nature, the science of the human body, the science of genetics. All right? Now, the fact that we have that photosynthetic quality does give people of African descent a certain advantage in nature. That's a fact, family. All right? We don't have to put on sunscreen. Melanin doesn't block sunlight. All right? Those are misnomers. All right? Feel free to hit me up anytime and we can chop it up about that, family. All right? Never wore sunscreen in my life. I'm 33 years old, family. All right? No sunburns. None of that. You know, we went to the beach plenty of times, played ball plenty of times, family, all day. You know what I'm saying? 10-hour sessions, okay? No melanoma skin cancers, all right? Now, like I said, family, ADHD was something that's associated with the indigos because we generate more energy. So they call that an attention deficiency hyperactivity disorder, all right? But there is no disorder about having more life force energy, all right? If you're elderly, then it makes sense for you to have low heartbeats per minute. It makes sense for you to have less energy if you're elderly or senior citizen, okay? But if you're a new soul to this planet, family, there's no reason why you should be sitting around like an elderly person, all right? Our children are more energetic and they have more activity, so they need room to get out and release that and express that energy. All right, the modern classroom setting may not be the typical ideal setting for people of African descent. All right, and especially when you have European Western scholars or Western educators who don't talk with charisma, and our children don't gravitate towards that, family. All right, we are people of energy and we understand the language of that energy. All right, so we need certain types of teachers to grasp our attention in the classroom. All right, but we do have a lot of energy, and that's due to our cell structure and function, because we have that hue, we have those dark pigmented cells. All right, which are solar cells. All right. So depression is another thing that is experienced by indigos. All right. I don't believe that it's natural. You know, maybe it's just from the modern civilization, the way that things are being ran, the way that things don't have much substance. A lot of things are vain, you know, and when you're a deep person and a person of great substance, you know, that's what you gravitate towards. And when you see a lot of vain things and things that don't mean anything, you know, this is a depressing world for that type of person. So I can relate to that, family. All right? But we want to be happy. We want positive vibes. We want to be around tribal people that can, you know, help to sustain, you know, that positive vibration. But of course, you know, we in the driver's seat of our own vehicle, and we understand that we are the light. All right, and we don't want to be dependent, but we most definitely want to have a higher vibrational energy and environment, family. All right. Like I said, integrity is very important for indigo children. All right. For melanated children. And then also from Gaia.com, family, it says starseeds, crystal children, rainbow children, and star children are all different manifestations or variations of indigos. You see that? They named crystal children, rainbow children, star children. All right? These are all indigos. All right? Crystal children are believed to be the offspring of indigos, while a star seed is the overarching term for a soul from another part of the universe who has been incarnated here on Earth. Okay? So that's just a concept to being indigo. All right? Rainbow children, star children, star seeds, family. All right? Saying that black people, or people that are of hue, or people that are of color, may be of cosmic origin. All right? And we know that matter is created through the process of nuclear fusion, where the fundamental basic elements and ingredients of life are put together in an arrangement by the light of the sun, family. All right? And this is how all organic matter is produced on Earth, through certain stellar events, solar winds, solar flares, okay? Corona mass ejections, supernova collisions, all right? These are certain natural phenomena that occur in space that create organic matter, okay? And when you are melanated, we got to understand that melanin is an organic biochemical substance, an organic biochemical substance. And like I said, you look up the definition of inorganic, right? And it's defined as compounds that do not contain carbon, okay? Carbon is 98.93 naturally abundant on the planet Earth, all right? And it's one of the main commonly found isotopes of carbon, all right? And it's created through the triple alpha process, in which helium fuses 3 times to create the element of carbon, which is atomic number 6. Okay? Black people are very dark pigmented, okay, because we contain this radioactive chemical known as melanin, which has a compound that incorporates the chemical of carbon, family. Okay? There's 4 transvalent electrons that can be exchanged. Okay? So it's very good and ideal for molecular bonding. That's why you have diamonds that are produced from a carbon bond, graphite. All right? So we got to understand the complexity of carbon, family. All right? Let me see. It says right here, family, dyslexia, which is one of the traits of indigo child, right? It says right here from Oxford.com, dyslexia is a general term for disorders that involve difficulty in learning to read or interpret words, right? Letters or other symbols, but that do not affect general intelligence. So emphasize on that, family. A general term for disorders, dyslexia, is a general term for disorders that involve difficulty in learning to read or interpret words, letters, or other symbols, but that do not affect general intelligence. That doesn't mean you're slow, don't mean you're not smart, all right? But we do know in ancient civilizations and different writing forms, like before the Greek alphabet, with the Phoenician alphabet, that we had Coptic, the pyramid text, you know what I'm saying, cuneiform script. We had different forms of writing, and those people all read from right to left. All right? People didn't read from left to right as they do today. And we didn't have letters. We had symbols in ancient times. So if you were more of a hieroglyphic minded person, you know, those letters may not really come together in your mind the way that your mind may put together information. You may not really process that like a European, all right? Because we know that that's a latter writing system, and that the more ancient writing systems were more hieroglyphic pictograms, and that they actually wrote from right to left, all right? So like they said, dyslexia does not mean that you do not have general intelligence, or that you do not have intelligence in general, all right? It has nothing to do with that. Your brain is functioning differently, all right? So that may be an indication that you might be an indigo. And also my father was dyslexic in school, and he had to take speech classes and all of that. He had speech impediment at first, you know what I'm saying? But he's a very, very smart man, very brilliant man. Ended up reading lots of books, ended up pastoring, being a religious leader in the community, all right? And so, and this is a guy who may travel somewhere, and on his first time, you know what I'm saying, he's going to remember everywhere he turned, all the streets. Like he's very, very photographic. Like he has a photographic memory. So like they say, it has nothing to do with your intelligence, family. Your brain functions differently, all right? Now, let me see. Now, dyslexia is considered to be a learning disorder characterized by difficulty reading, all right? And they say that by MayoClinic.org that there's more than 3 million U.S. cases per year of dyslexia. Okay, so it does happen very, quite commonly. And then, like I said, y'all know the indigo children, like I said, deal with the ADHD, and we talked about that. We generate more energy because we have solar photovoltaic cells, and those types of cells store energy even when the sun has fallen. When the sun sets, your body has stored energy from the day, depending on how long you've been outside in the sun, family. But we do have that biological function to go outside in nature and store light energy like the solar panel. And then when the sun go down, you can still use that energy for different things. All right? So it's very unique and very special quality that we have as people of African descent. Okay? Also, it says right here by CDC.gov, key findings in 2016 to 2018, nearly 14% of children aged 3 to 17 years old were reported as ever having been diagnosed with either attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, or learning disability. Non-Hispanic black children were the most likely to be diagnosed, family. 16.9%. That was March 4th, 2020 by the CDC.gov. All right? It says that Hispanic and black children were more likely to be diagnosed with this disorder. All right? The ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. All right? The highest rates emerge from Africa, all right, when it comes to ADHD. This is very interesting. Remember, I told you that people of African descent have certain types of cells, family, all right? They have a special quality. So it says that the highest rates emerge from Africa at 8.5%. And South America, see, we're still dealing with that tropical region, the equatorial center, family, all right? In South America at 11.8%. The corroboration comes from a dimensional ADHD scale used in 21 countries. Japanese and Finnish children scored lowest. Jamaican and Thai children scored highest. And African and American children scored about an average of 7. All right, and like I said, it was by www.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, family. All right. The highest rates of ADHD, okay, emerged in Africa and in South America, which is the tropics. Remember, people with melanin have certain types of specialized cells, family. That's why you see people with more energy, okay? You have more energy when you are an indigo person or when you are an indigo child, all right? Now, according to WebMD.com, in a review of 21 previously published U.S. studies, which included nearly 155,000 black children in the United States, researchers found that 14.5% of these children had ADHD. That's much higher than the prevalence estimate of 9.4 for all U.S. children from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, September 16th, 2020. And that's by WebMD.com, family. All right? So we see that it's very common in people of African descent. All right? And that's for a reason, family. So we got to get that organic matter. We got to understand who we are biologically. All right? Like I said, people are not places, and places are not people. I don't care where you live on the planet, family. All right? I don't care where you at on the planet. Your identity is not the region of land in which you live. Your identity is your genetic, biological information. And the sun identifies you as that, that DNA, as that chemistry, no matter what you claim yourself to be. Your ability to adapt and survive and thrive in the natural world is based on your genetic identity, all right? Doesn't matter what land you're living on, okay? So the indigo people, according to the indigo people, like I said, are indigo, meaning Indian, and dye, okay? Indian dye, referring to an Indian dye that has a dark hue, okay? These are the people that are the original native descendants of the planet Earth, family. They are the star seeds, the organic matter that naturally derived from natural origins, okay? And if you subscribe to the Outer Africa theory, then we know that that's the most widely known, accepted migration theory, a human migration theory, all right? That life emerged from the center of the earth, from the core, all right? And that from the center of the earth, humans derived and eventually migrated to other areas. So India is just a land in which people of African descent migrated, just like you see us in Australia, you see us in Thailand, you see us in America, you know what I'm saying? You see us in Jamaica, you see us in Malaysia, Asia. I mean, we everywhere, family, all right? There's nowhere on the planet where there's not a person of African descent, even in the Northern Hemisphere, all right? So that's just is what it is. If you subscribe to the Outer Africa theory and you believe in the fact that the oldest migration took place out of Africa, okay, and that is the most consistent with paleontology and anthropology, all right, then we know that the people, the native people from Africa, came from Africa and emerged from Africa and migrated to other lands. So that's all I'm saying, family. All right? To be indigo, you must be solar, you must be photovoltaic, you must have that photosynthetic quality like a plant. All right? That's why we got afros, our hair defy gravity. All right? And we see that we got all of that, family. Okay? So for Mr. Jeff Abney, this is for you. Shout out to Jeff Abney. Thanks for supporting my channel, man. Thanks for stopping by and showing me love. And hopefully you enjoyed the build. And let me know if you have any good ideas that you want to talk about. And that goes for everybody who has tuned in tonight. So don't forget, family, to hit up the Facebook joint. That's www.facebook.com/OMNIS. Capital OMNIS. That's Omnis family. All right. www.instagram.com/OMNIS. underscore lowercase omnis. All right. Same thing for Twitter. www.twitter.com/ lowercase omnis, lowercase omnis, family. All right. And I also be tagging the YouTube in the joint. All right. That's www.youtube.com/the nature guy, Omni Amanashi. Okay, that's spelled TheNaturGodOmniAmunase. All right, the nature guy, Omni Amanashi. All right. So don't forget to hit up that joint. Hit the Cash App, family. That's www.cashapp.com. All right, / all caps $ Omnis Natura 360 LLC. That's OMNISNATURA 360 LLC at well, it's not at anything, it's just Cash App and then the Omnis Natura 360 LLC. All right. So thank you guys for rocking with me. Love and light. I'm gonna get on up out of here. Peace and blessings. Ashi.